he's praying to that damn painting. Get out, get out. Get out, Jody. Get out, Jody. While his naked ass is bent over. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Jesus. 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 Oh my God. How much more do I have to struggle? How much more do I have to struggle? Get out of this. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, we get up when he gets up. Okay. We get off it when he gets up. Good. Okay. Got it. Got it. We gotta run. We gotta run. We gotta run. We gotta run. Get out. 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 Oh! Sister! What is that? What is...
Oh, hell no!
Yes! What? I'm trying to get out. Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my hell! And he running too! Bitch, let me in! Bitch, no!
Let's go.
I don't like this. I don't want any parts of this. Okay, free myself. I gotta free myself and run away while he's praying to that damn painting. Get out. Get out. Get out, Jody. Get out, Jody. While his naked ass is bent over. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Jesus. 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 Oh my God. How much more do I have to struggle? How much more do I have to struggle? Get out of this. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, we get up when he gets up. Okay. We get off it when he gets up. Good. Okay. Got it. Got it. We gotta run. We gotta run. We gotta run. We gotta run. Get out. 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 Oh! Sister! What is that? What is...
Oh, hell no!
Yes! What? I'm trying to get out. Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my hell! And he running too! Bitch, let me in! Bitch, no!
Let's go.
What is that? I don't like this. I don't like this. I don't want any parts of this. Okay, free myself. I gotta free myself and run away while he's praying to that damn painting. Get out. Get out. Get out, Jody. Get out, Jody. While his naked ass is bent over. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Jesus. 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 Oh my God. How much more do I have to struggle? How much more do I have to struggle? Get out of this. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, we get up when he gets up. Okay. We get off it when he gets up. Good. Okay. Got it. Got it. We gotta run. We gotta run. We gotta run. We gotta run. Get out. 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 Oh! Sister! What is that? What is...
Oh, hell no!
Yes! What? I'm trying to get out. Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my hell! And he running too! Bitch, let me in! Bitch, no!
Let's go.
Okay, I'm exhausted, but I'm still gonna give it a go. But hey, I am grandmacynthia666, but Grandma Cynthia for short. I had the 666 on there was because there is a Grandma Cynthia that is connected on YouTube for murder and everything. And the reason why I use 666 is because you guys call me a demon. That's because I'm gay. You call me an abomination and everything else. So here we go, bitch. Here we go. I'll use that terminology very, very straightforward. I have no problems and no quarrels with using that number. I think it's stupid that people lose their shit over a goddamn number. But anywho, today, as the title say, we're gonna be watching Johto Johnny, a YouTuber, video on Bayonetta, the series, and he was talking about Bayonetta, what Bayonetta 4 should inspire to be. And I wanted to watch his video and not just react with it, but add more to it. I wish I could talk to the man myself. Go back and forth and have conversations and everything. But yeah, I want to talk about Bayonetta 3 because it was trash, but it was inspiring trash. And it had a lot of, it was missing a lot of flair compared to the first, the first two. And I know, I have a feeling the reason why it lost its flair, like 100%, was due to the guy leaving, the main guy who started it off, leaving to go to, I guess, leaving the company and deciding to do YouTube and shit like that and so forth. But still, at the very end, I feel like he sabotaged his own shit, or just got tired because there's no way in hell that whole bullshit should have never went down. But even still, like some of his shit's kind of trash, good trash, just a little bit. But anywho, let us watch this, and I can not just give a critique, but also get my full thought of where Bayonetta 4 should go to, because he has something that's very interesting, and I really want to piggyback off of that.
Listen, it's no secret. Bayonetta 3 has left the series and the fans in a perplexing spot. Yeah, every day is a new argument to be had. Was Jean's death justified? Did everyone die, or were they revived? Why didn't Rodin or Loki help keep out the threat if it was so large? Where was Baldur? Would Bayonetta's variants really get hit from behind like that? Why doesn't Bayonetta speak much? Is her new voice even good? Why didn't her romance with Luca...
Okay, so we're gonna stop. We're not even in a minute. We're already only 30 seconds. There's a lot of sense that makes into that. Why is it that the hell itself, which is basically Rodin is not just an AD man. I think it's just Satan himself. And Luca, Lucas, why did he not come back? Well, we already know in 2, Lucas had disappeared because he got reincarnated, and he gave all his power up and threw it into the void. Therefore, the Aesir is of nothingness. So therefore, everything goes back to nothingness, including the power. So he doesn't have the chaos power as he normally does have, which is chaos is infinite in all the multiverses. So even if the Grand Poobah and Bayonetta 3 decided to destroy everything and make it his own, it's still not in order. It still has chaos. So there would be no way for him to destroy it. And Lucas himself 100% already stated it, like, okay, I'm gonna get reincarnated, so hopefully we might see you again. I might see you again. I'm just gonna go rest for a bit. So that was already done. Rodin was like, this shit's not gonna fuck with hell, so it's not my problem. However, I'm the only one that resides, so therefore it's not my problem. This is a human problem. It's not a demon. It's not an angel problem. It's a human problem. So you gotta deal with that shit. So that's one. Why did she not speak as much? Is because the actor Helena Taylor whatsoever, who played the voice for the first 2 Bayonettas, had a whole spit spat about not getting paid enough, which is very true. A lot of the voice actors do not get paid at all. So yes, they should be striking to get paid. I bet you if they start striking, the video game industry is gonna feel it very fucking hard. But they don't get paid as much as they should, which she is not lying on that. However, she is a transphobe, and since she is a transphobe and was talking about how Bayonetta inspired her to fight for herself, fight for everything, but fuck the trans, she said. It's like, damn, you suck, bitch. Like, are you fucking for real? I can't fuck with you. Not only you saying fuck the trans, it's like you saying fuck the pride community. So it's like, nah, bitch, you done. However, I still love her voice. She did bring something to Bayonetta that was very interesting. And then they gave Jennifer Hale Bayonetta, which Jennifer Hale could throw her right out of the park herself. But it was so sad because they decided, okay, we're going to switch it. She's going to have fewer voices. And that just also made Jennifer Hale, like, become very low as well. Like, you gave another superstar voice actor, but you give her very little to say anything, which is really shallow. But it just also shows where Bayonetta 3 was going. Because for someone to be upbeat and all about friendship and helping people and being who they are, to now just be nothing, it's just like, wow, are you fucking for real? I can't feel for this bitch.
Get explored more. Is Viola going to be the new Bayonetta? Is Viola worthy of being the new Bayonetta?
No, she's not worthy of being the new Bayonetta. And I don't even like her being in Bayonetta. Shout out to the voice actor who actually was playing the voice. I did love the voice actor, but I just felt like she shouldn't even be the child of Bayonetta. But as soon as we finish this video, I'll give you another part on that one.
Why did Singularity even go on his crusade in the first place? The list goes on, and depending on who you ask, you'll either hear that the trilogy ended on an extremely high note, or that it petered out with a pitiful whimper. This kind of divide in an established fan base is rarely seen. Really, I can only think of Pokemon as another example of people being this divided. But what if I told you that was on purpose? What if Bayonetta's future was purposely left vague so that Platinum Games could evaluate the best course of action moving forward? And what if, when all the possibilities are overlaid, one path stands out the clearest for where the series should go? Platinum Games, I hope you're watching. Roll the intro.
This mistake is costing Amazon Prime shoppers.
Shut the fuck up, sir. No one cares about this ad.
Bayonetta 3 already vaguely follows a familiar template set up by another series. That series is Devil May Cry. And it makes sense. After all, many alumni who worked on the original DMC now work at Platinum Games. And I imagine the story structure we've seen for Devil May Cry is reminiscent to the original team's vision. So, with Bayonetta being the spiritual successor forged by many of the same developers, it seems Platinum Games is taking their own crack at the same story structure. An all-powerful offspring of two opposing forces, a rival who comes close to matching you in combat, a clumsy understudy, and a passing of the torch to said understudy. Some gameplay elements translate as well. A super ridiculous weapon made from a method of transportation, a weapon made from an instrument, a half-demon transformation, Michael Jackson references. Sure, okay, while Bayonetta 1 and 2 mostly paved their own story and gameplay quirks to stand outside of Devil May Cry's shadow, it's clear that Bayonetta 3 seemed determined to do exactly what Devil May Cry 5 did, but better.
And that was the fall. That was their fall. That was their fall when they made Bayonetta 3. Because you could see the comparison. It's like you plagiarized each other. And that was the fall for Bayonetta 3. It shouldn't have done that. It should have kept the energy what it was doing with Bayonetta 2, but do it more fierce. I don't understand why it's so hard for people to just say, you know what, it's okay to take a little bit from this game here, but to just plagiarize, just take the full-on effect with it, it's like, what the fuck? Like, that's what I kept feeling like when I was playing it more and more. I felt, first, it's not as colorful. It's as dingy as this motherfucker over here on the right, which is Devil May Cry. It was like trying to go blow for blow. But this is what happens when you have a company that basically leaves one company and then comes up and decides to make their own shtick within this company. And that's what my sociologist teacher said. Everybody has their own rules and nobody wants to share.
And honestly, this produced mixed results. And I don't think that's a good thing. Opinion time, yeah. I think that Platinum Games is poisoning their own well by trying to chase after Devil May Cry.
Yes, they are.
Reception to Bayonetta 1 and 2 was universally positive.
Universally positive, baby. First and foremost, the reason why, when they were not chasing the tail of Devil May Cry, that game, it became its own shtick, its own shit. And that's what made the game really fun. Like, I will go back to playing 2 before I play 3. 3 was like, it's a hot-ass mess. But the battle system is fun. Just the colors, it's just not giving. It's just not giving. But what is giving is the next evolution of magic, which I feel that Bayonetta should merge with demons, because that's the next form with magic. It's mergings and fusions. It's called harmonix. And that's what they were doing. And that's what really, and people were like, I don't like this. It's all over. I was like, it's not all over the place. This is the next form of magic. And I know that's a part that's supposed to be. When you use a demon contract, sometimes you can merge. Sometimes with demon contracts, you either command them, slave them, or you merge. You fuse your energy and your essence with the demon to become even something more extravagantly powerful. So I'm grateful they did it in 3, but what's so sad about it is because it's like, bitch, you're using, this is Devil May Cry. I'm not here to play a Devil May Cry. What the fuck?
but Bayonetta 3 only
Someone that I played Devil May Cry. Where's Bayonetta? Where is this?
managed to split opinion. Platinum Games needs to realize something. The deed is done, guys. Devil May Cry was able to pump out 5 games before Bayonetta even released its third.
Exactly.
That's 5 games of journeying with Dante. That's 5 games to show us Dante's growth as a character.
And not only that, let's be clear here, he also has an app game that just came out. So it's like, you only came out with 3, and the adventure of her was very little.
That's 2 games.
Not only that, I don't know, I haven't played the Devil May Cry 5 one, but it just, with the realism of the faces, you can see that. That white boy, you go over there. Like, y'all go over there. And people say it's fun, but to me, it's like, I like the aesthetics of the weapons and stuff, but it just doesn't hit. I guess it's because it's another super Caucasian male trope, so it's like savior complex, so I don't really care. And a lot of people will say, well, she's also Caucasian. Yeah, but she's a woman. She's a woman with power that you don't get to see on a daily. And it's very rare that you get to see a woman who just love herself and is not being titillized or she's sexualizing herself, and she knows her power and her strength. She's not doing it for the boy. She's doing it because she's doing it because she can. And I love that energy and that flow. For Dante, it's just like, yeah, bro. He's another bro frat dude I could see go into a frat house. Like, ain't nothing interesting about that child.
To introduce us to a successor that earned that torch by the end of the 5th game because the writers crafted a satisfying arc with growth and personal storytelling that included Dante.
I guess so.
And Dante didn't have to die to pass the torch.
Well, it's not even Dante. It's literally his brother. Like, that's it. It's not Dante's child. It's his brother's child. So that's a whole different spiel with that one.
So, Johnny, you're talking mad shit. And yeah, I am. I bet you think you know where Platinum Games is going with this franchise, don't you? Yeah, I bet you do. Well, newsflash. Platinum doesn't even know where this franchise is going.
They don't.
Yeah, I said it. Platinum Games has no clue what the to do with this series. The original creator left the company. Everyone is split on how they feel about Bayonetta 3, but oh wait, it sold 1 million copies pretty much on release. So close yet so far, because guess what the happened after that? Sales halted almost entirely 3 months in because, unlike the first 2 games, word of mouth was not overwhelmingly positive. Old fans are leaving the series because of 3's ending. Almost no one bought Origins, even though it was a great game.
No, it was a great, colorful game, but we didn't need Origins, my dear. Jodo, we did not need Origins. We did not need the origin story of how this motherfucking girl got to be who she is. We did not need, if any case, we didn't need a game of it. It just needed to be an anime. I would have made that an anime and continue forward. We did not need a game of it. Could have just been an anime and called it a day. That game was boring as fuck to me. Music is fun, but it was boring as hell.
Probably because who wants to witness an origin story of a character who died?
Hi.
And also, that game was easy to read. So it's not like, oh, plot twist in that game. It was easy to fucking read.
Besides me. People who could have been new fans are scared to give the series a go because of the negative side of the reception for Bayonetta 3. The series is in such a weird spot right now, and this is a make or break moment for Platinum Games. But this doesn't have to be the end.
No,
if any of you have seen my channel before, you've probably viewed a few of my videos explaining how Platinum Games actually created an extremely vague ending that currently leaves almost everything up to interpretation. It's actually entirely possible that everyone who died was revived. It's entirely possible Jean got stabbed on purpose. It's entirely possible Luca saved Cereza from dying at the end. It's entirely possible that Viola isn't going to be the new protagonist moving forward. And this ending was left so vague precisely because of what I mentioned earlier. Platinum Games has no idea what to do next. They're waiting, they're watching, they're witnessing trends, and honestly, I know exactly which trend they should follow. Spoiler alert, it's not Devil May Cry. No, there's a series out there that has found so much more.
But that's the problem. When you have nothing but Devil May Cry crew members, that's the story that they're going to integrate into because they feel it's going to sell. And they shouldn't go that route. They've already showed you with 3, and that's why it failed. What's also why it failed even more is because when the guy who started this off decided to leave the company, I bet you out of spite and pity, he was like, oh, he got real petty. I bet you he decided to make this shit flop harder so that they could never use his baby ever again. Not the way that they can. I bet you he did that. Because he sees, when I'm looking at him, I was like, you look like a petty ass motherfucker that would just take it. I'll take your house, I'll take your children, I'll take your baby, I'll take your mother, I'll take all of it away from you. He feels like that. Because there's no way in hell you're going to tell me that Luca is Bayonetta's boo thing. It was not Luca. We all know who it was. That was John or Rodon. One of the two. One of the fucking two. But mostly Jean. I feel it in my heart. That's her best friend, but also her lover. Jean. But he dilly-dally with that one as well because he needed the gay. He knew gay power was going to push this. Because the gays love her. And the straight women want to be her. And have her energy. So, of course. And the straight men just there to be there. Like, you know, you could look at some ass and whatever. But there are some straight men that like her and her strength. So it's like, but to be truthful, who really pushed it? The gays. The pride community. Who really pushed it? Straight women. Who really pushed the game. And that's sad that you decided to be petty as fuck and fuck up your own game. And I feel that you fucked up your own game. And if not, and a corporate decided to fuck it up, this feels too close to home. This feels way too close to home. I feel like this man did it so that way he'd be like, hey, guess what? I'm going to make my own game. Come to my YouTube channel and then come to my Kickstarter. So I'll make my own team and my own. Watch. If you don't, watch.
Mainstream success because of some major runbacks and shifts it made at a pivotal moment in its lifespan. The decisions this series made were so successful that the games are now talked about regularly in video game discourse and have earned even more critical acclaim than they ever did before they did these changes. And honestly, the pivotal moment this other series made these shifts at was a very similar moment to Bayonetta's current situation. The two series really do have a lot in common. You may have already guessed what I'm talking about by now. The series Bayonetta should switch its gears to outlining is the God of War series. Just like with Bayonetta 3, Kratos supposedly died at the end of God of War 3. Just like the Bayonetta series, God of War was a hack and slash franchise. Just like Bayonetta, Kratos is an all-powerful weapon of mass destruction that can completely reshape the world they inhabit. And just like how God of War had a major shift from exploring Greek mythology to exploring Norse mythology, Bayonetta seems to be switching from its mix of Norse mythology and Western Christianity to European folklore and fairy tales for its main lore.
Well, the main dude, said before that he liked the European lore of witches and how they were persecuted and blah, blah, blah. So I already had a feeling he was going to go into the European lore of fairies and folklore, which, let's be clear here, the European lore of fairies was not the only place where people actually got to know what fairies are. There have been fairies through and through the entire fucking countries and continents and so forth. European fairies are not the only fucking fairies that exist in this motherfucking world. You have the Chinese fairies, you have Filipino fairies, Taiwan fairies, African fairies, you have Japanese fairies, you have Korean fairies, you have Hawaiian fairies, you have Brazilian fairies. You have every fairy in the continent. Italian. You have every fucking fairy in the continent at some point. So it's not just European fairies. But when European lore has been spread across the nation, making you forget that there are other folklores that are out there, this is what you stick with. Now, I do understand, and I will say, with my heart, with my bosoms, as much as I possibly can, which is true, this man loved the European folklore, so he was going to go into the fairy continent. However, when you are starting off with these bitches right now, with blatant less energy, it kerfuffles me. Especially if you were gonna go in that route, you should have had the fairy lore in Bayonetta 2, so that way it could start luring people in. Because when you just threw it in there, I was like, what the fuck is this? The fuck is this? I am not happy with none of this shit. What the fuck is this?
There are more similarities between the series that we'll get into, but for now, let's tackle how Bayonetta can handle the concepts expertly managed by God of War so that it too can find similar levels of success.
Now, please understand, I do not feel that it should not be following. I get what he's trying to say. It should be inspired to follow the premise of like God of War or go into that route. But it shouldn't. It should literally, what's baffling to me is it should be moving at its own pace that is not connected to any other games. It can inspire to it, which he's talking about. It should be inspired with this all, but it shouldn't go that route. It shouldn't go that route, because anytime we say that something's inspired to it, we end up taking all of what we inspire and putting it in our own shit, and that's the problem. Because what made Bayonetta pop more was it wasn't trying to be full Devil May Cry. It was just trying to be its own shtick. However, it should have never did time travel. That shit, every time, if you don't know how to implement it right in a great storyline, it doesn't look right. It won't feel right. And he should have never did time travel. He should have just said, this is a busty, dusty, crazy ass witch that just woken up 500 years from now and decided to fuck up motherfuckers left and right because she lost her memory, and she regains it because John, who's also being controlled a little bit, is like, I will never let you take the right eye, and I will never let you take my best friend and secret/lover away from me. And you can go to hell. I will be there shortly in the next few more 100 years. But you can go straight to hell or heaven, whichever you prefer to go to. But you will not be taking my dear, dear love. Like, that should have what it meant to. Instead of using little Bayonetta me to go into the present state. To that shit, that's what really was just like, just tiring the fuck out of me. Just tell a fucking story without actually using these tropes. Because that's what really made your stuff muddled and kerfuffled. 2 was the only thing that I feel like had nothing to deal with time travel, just had to deal with powerful ass gods. It's just trying to, well, no. 2 had time travel too, which was dumb as fuck. But at the very least, it tried to fix what was broken, and it just didn't. It just kerfuffled, muddled up shit even more. But let's continue, because we got 20 more minutes of it.
Bayonetta needs to remain the protagonist. Just like with Kratos, we have a supremely unique character not found in any other media. Kratos was impactful and forged a recognizable identity removed from other protagonists because he was, at his core, an anti-hero. The man knew no bounds in his revenge. He ravaged the entirety of Greece, killing every single inhabitant along the way in his quest with no remorse.
Yeah, he didn't
His
care.
design even reflects the blood and ash of his loved ones he's avenging. There's no other character like Kratos in gaming, at least not in any mainstream games. Now, let's look at Bayonetta versus her supposed heir to the title, Viola. Like Kratos, Bayonetta has also forged a recognizable identity far removed from any other game protagonist we've ever seen. She's a hyper-feminine, supremely confident character who owns herself and her sexuality in a way that subverts the player's expectations at every toss and turn. Her designs and personality scream regality and poise, yet also sexy and fierce.
Yep.
Intelligence and class, but also adventure and wit. No other character like Bayonetta exists in gaming, at least not in mainstream games. Which Bayonetta is now mainstream, with its 1 million sales within 3 months for Bayonetta 3, as well as her inclusion in the Super Smash Bros. Series. To make Viola the new protagonist of the series would be a huge mistake, plain and simple. Not
She haven't had enough installments for her to say, I'm leaving the mantle. This only happened because the main dude was leaving. That is the only reason why. Let me be clear. I see a petty ass bitch when I see him. This motherfucker was going to leave. This game took 5 years. I bet you after 2 or 3, he's like, I'm gonna leave this bitch. So if I leave, so does Bayonetta. I bet $5-10. I bet you this petty ass motherfucker, petty. He is petty as hell. I bet you he was leaving out that door. But before he leave out that door, he gonna make sure that his legacy dies with him. I bet you. He decided, if I'm gonna leave, so too Bayonetta. And y'all can have whatever motherfucking, mishmash that you want. And since that was happening, they were like, oh yeah, you know what? We gotta scramble, because now she's dead. What we gonna do? Oh, well, now we gotta make a predecessor for her. Bet you. Because there's no way in hell after a 3rd installment that the main protagonist decides to die and then be replaced by some Naruto character. She gave me Naruto. She gave me Isekai vibes. And I just, Viola, I'm Viola. I don't need to know your name, bitch. I already know who you are. Not confident enough to even just say your name once, go on your business. Don't call me Cheshire. I'm Viola. We all know who you are. But in her eyes, you are Cheshire. You are still in training. I would have said the same thing too. You are Cheshire. You are still in training. You are in training wheels and training diapers. Okay? Until you learn to potty in the adult potty like adults, then we'll talk. The fuck? But I'm telling you, it gave me petty. This game gave me petty vibes so much. Her ability, her less voice acting, speaking, less dialogue, no emotions when her own versions of herself die. It just makes no sense. It made no sense to me. I was like, this isn't Bayonetta. And what's so bad is her design is cute as fuck. And I'm like, it's just hollow. This isn't Bayonetta. But her cutscenes are fine. Her cutscenes are fun. But it's just like, this isn't really a Bayonetta game. This is a Devil May Cry game with no Devil May Cry, also emotions, energy.
Not only because the name of Bayonetta has now become mainstream and synonymous with Cereza, but also because Viola lacks any sort of uniqueness. Let's look at her attributes. Viola is a clumsy nerd who refuses to let anyone know she doesn't have the situation handled. She also wants everyone to know her name, and she'll scream it at the top of her lungs. Sound familiar? Yep. She's literally exactly the same as every shonen protagonist ever. And just like those protagonists, sure, yeah, she has some great power locked up deep inside her. But oh my god, how many times have we tread this story over and over by now? And how many times do I have to say, no one's gonna do it better than Naruto did anyways, so they may as well just stop trying.
I just want a confidence boosted motherfucker. I just want that. That's why I didn't care for Origins. I just want a confident woman. Just know her shit, do her shit, and call it a day. That's why I had to stop with Tomb Raider. Because when they decided, let's go back when Tomb Raider was 16 or 17 years old, getting her ass handled left and right, getting thrown and hit. And so, I was like, this isn't my Lara Croft. Why do you do this? Why do you hate women? Like, why can't she just be sexy and just in her own power? Like, it's just, it baffles the hell out of me. It's like, men, do you like women? It don't seem like y'all like women. It seems like y'all hate women like through and through. Yet you keep glorifying, oh, I love women. Then this would show. That's why Bayonetta was so good. He liked her, and it showed. But he I'm telling you, when he left out that door, he was like, I'm not letting you touch her. I will destroy. He's petty. I will destroy her and her. I'll destroy my whole legacy on sight. You will not get her. That's how it went. I'm so I'm dead ass serious on it because that made no sense. It makes no sense. People, when you make a legacy, even if somebody else takes it, let it be known it was your legacy at the end of the day. And if someone does take it, let's see if they can make something better out of it. But you just destroying yourself, you destroy your entire legacy. That makes no sense to me.
It's honestly just frustrating.
You cannot tell me that this man did not destroy his legacy. You cannot. It makes no fucking sense for the third installment that you decide to make this multiverse bullshit, time warping reality, no energy, no have and ask woman to be the final girl, and then then remove the final girl energy from her, remove her lover, not Luca, her other lover, Jean. Kill her off in the heinous way. Jean, the woman who fought gods and threw them around, not only once got sucker punched by a fucking demon. That made no fucking sense. I mean, she shouldn't have got. Well, she didn't get sucker punched. Bayonetta got almost sucker punched, but she protected her. But there was no reason. There was no way in hell that she should have got her soul knocked out. She gets her ass fighting back and forth with giant creatures. There's no way in hell that this one particular time this fucking demon just knocks her soul out of her body. I thought that was trash. I thought that was heinous, and they could have done better. And now in the third one, some wheelchairing ass white Xavier man just stabs her in the back. Are you kidding me? No, that's not how that goes.
And redundant at this point. Not only that, but Viola's inner power is that she's a furry. Look, I have nothing against furries, and I'm sure furries out there love Viola, but once again,
if they love that look that she has, y'all can go kiss ass. I would not fuck her. That glass pillow. Nah, I would not be fucking her. Furry off, baby. Nope. It would just, really? And then we're not going to use this power ever again until like the final fight. But you're going to put yourself in danger 24/7. Just that game, just... Ugh.
We've seen the equivalent to this in other media many times, including, as I've mentioned, Naruto with the nine-tailed fox demon. And again, it was done better there. I'm not even saying Viola is a bad character. She's just a bad protagonist. Her best role on screen is honestly to give contrast to the sublime Bayonetta. Their interactions are some of the best parts in 3, and honestly, they should have had more.
Was it?
That's where
their interaction to me was sourdough, silly low at best. At fucking best. Which is really sad, by the way, but at best, it was sourdough, wish it could be better.
Bayonetta 4 comes in, because I feel like Viola is actually very comparable to Atreus in regards to how she should interact with the narrative and Cereza. In God of War, we once again took control of Kratos, contrary to what many thought thanks to the ending of God of War 3. We find out that he's relocated to Scandinavia and is raising, of all things, a son he had after the events of the trilogy. Enter Atreus, a young boy who has the innate power of a furry and a demigod thanks to his parents. Again, a clear comparison to Viola. God of War 4 then goes on to dive into the working relationship between father and son and one of the most subversive stories ever told in gaming. The dynamic between the two characters is like none I've seen. An anti-hero raising his child in a cold attempt to try not to let him become a villain like he was? It's interesting stuff, and the story is no slouch in exploring every consequence that entails. The gameplay has also seen a dramatic shift. We go from outlandishly large hack and slash spectacle to a much tighter, dynamic, and intimate approach to plowing through enemies. Every kill matters more because it also matters more to the story. Enemies aren't simply fodder this time. Each one feeds into the narrative, and their demise leads to further consequences. This is a radical 180 from the God of War trilogy, but it's one that's welcome because it's the central theme of the game. That there are consequences for your actions. This mature theming is a great way for the series to grow with its audience.
My girl, Freya. This Freya. I don't know about the original Northgard favorite, but this Freya. I felt for her in so many ways, but at the exact same time, I was like, leave Kratos and them alone. Girl, your son has to die. There's no other solution. You fucked this up. He has to go. You basically used mistletoe to prevent him from dying, but now he can't feel anything. So I understand where that craziness came from. And that was without his consent. Let him die. I get why, but you can make more. You can make more, baby. Until you do a Regina from Once Upon a Time and say, fuck you, mother, you will never have my children in my womb, and take a potion to prevent you from having kids permanently. I want to hear your shit. Because I don't want to lose another child. I get it, but whose fault was you living with motherfucking Odin? You could have left whenever. Oh, bitch, no, you chose this bullshit. You chose this. Even your brother was saying that bullshit. So I don't want to hear it, okay? But there was no reason for you to act upon vengeance to trying to carry out to kill Kratos' ass and fuck with Atreus. There was no well, you never fuck with Atreus. You did. You love Atreus a lot. That's your new son. You lost that one. Can I adopt Atreus because I want him to be better. That should have been your whole shtick. Not saying that didn't happen in the game. Eventually she did, but sort of. She sort of did. She sort of adopted him. But the premise that I'm getting to is there's no reason to try to spread that hatred because you are mad at the main person. Be mad at the main bitch that's fucked you over. Don't be mad at this motherfucker that's got caught up in this mix when all he wanted to do was be a fucking father and just escape. Okay, he already fucked up the whole pantheon gods. He don't want to fuck up North gods. He good. So don't be rude here, girl. But I love her. I just love the voice act. I love the voice acting. I love the dialogue. I love the protagonist. I understand where JoJo is trying to go, but I will tell you how this fourth installment really should go, and how the third installment really should have made.
To become a mature game in a different way than it was labeled mature before. Instead of blood and guts, we have emotion and thought provocation. It's a glorious evolution. Bayonetta 3 had me excited pre-release because I really did think, based on the trailers, that we were going to have a heartfelt story of a witch and her daughter trying to stop the end of the world. But instead, we got a dislocated adventure where the two are split apart for the entire ride and neither of them grows as a result. It was the definition of a wasted scenario. With Bayonetta 4, we should see the chance to rectify that. We need to see Bayonetta properly mentor Viola and be present for her. When it comes to the story, I do believe we should finally explore their dynamic and make it the central focus of the narrative. And similarly to God of War, this joint arc should take several games for us to witness. Obviously, I don't want Platinum Games to copy exactly what God of War did with its story. What would be the point of Bayonetta being a separate series if it does exactly the same things as the other? But what I do think it should do is use what God of War has accomplished as a template. The story arc between Cereza and Viola can have its own twists and turns. The themes can and should be entirely different. Perhaps focus the story on a new arc that spans an entire new trilogy, where Bayonetta and Viola try to liberate the Trinity of Realities from their constant war with each other. Maybe something with the fairies can tie in as relevance. Because personally, I like the fairies, and I think they're really interesting additions to the Bayonetta lore. They exist outside of the Trinity of Realities, yet embedded themselves into the realm of chaos. I want to explore that. I want to explore Lucan. I want to explore Morgana. Perhaps see Morgana.
Morgana is dead, bitch. Morgana is literally Madame Butterfly. That.
And Rosa interact somehow. See Lucan and Baldur interact. The possibilities are endless. I mean, this is a series where magic exists. Anything is possible. So, Let's make the coolest ideas we have possible while making sure we give justice to beloved characters. There's no point in making new characters when we haven't even fleshed out our existing ones. Having fan favorites return and grow more is a key ingredient to longevity for any series. Since Bayonetta and God of War are two different franchises, they should also explore different themes and stories, as I've mentioned. So let's take a quick look at how the two series differ. Let's start with the kids. For one, unlike Atreus, Viola doesn't need a coming-of-age arc. She's already lived through one by experiencing heartache and even witnessing the eradication of her entire universe at one point. No, what Viola lacks instead is a power arc. Even in Bayonetta 3, when we see her activate her fairy powers, it was all for nothing since she never uses it again in moments we needed it. This was especially annoying to witness in the final battle against Singularity, where her getting knocked out actually gets Cereza killed. Maybe if she had transformed, she could have actually done something useful. Perhaps we see her dealing with that inner turmoil and guilt in Bayonetta 4. As for Bayonetta herself, while she and Kratos both supposedly died at the end of their third games, Bayonetta doesn't necessarily have any guilt for her actions.
Well, he died and then he came back. I remember there was another game of God of War. I guess it was for PS Vita. He died and he got out from the underworld and came back to life. What's that? Anybody who knows, who's online right now watching me, anybody who knows, or anyone who sees this video, write in the comments. Did Kratos, when Kratos died, wasn't there a game installment where he escapes the underworld to come back to life and get a second chance and then defeat his brother too?
That she needs to address. I'd say Cereza's guilt would stem more from inactions on her part, not her actions. Let's assume Bayonetta 3's vague ending was canonically confirmed to have not restored the multiverses. Perhaps Bayonetta would feel she didn't do enough to save the multiverse in time. She wasn't able to stop Jean from being killed. She couldn't be around for her daughter during a pivotal time. She might even need to acknowledge that she tried to do too much on her own.
We're not gonna say that this Bayonetta popped this bitch out. Okay, this is not my daughter. I am not your mother. Okay, your mother in the other world died. I may feel like you're mine, but you are not my daughter, okay? You are the daughter of the original version of me. You are not mine, and I hate that we have to use that because people were like, oh, it's the multiverse. That's not my child. I did not procreate and bring this child to life. The other version of me in that world procreated and bring that child to life. However, I will take care of you. Not as if you're my own, though. I just will take care of you. That's about it. But you are not my child. Like that, I hate that. I hate it. You're forcing it upon. It is not just the game itself is forcing it upon us to say this is Bayonetta's child. This is Luca and Bayonetta's child. Nah, that's Luca and Bayonetta's child in the other world. This Bayonetta we have hasn't even hit the sheets yet to start making her. So what?
And didn't focus enough on teamwork. That could very well be a worthwhile path for the story to take if we see her try to rectify all of that somehow. Conversely, if all the universes were restored, which seems to be what the story implied more anyway, perhaps a new threat worthy of an entire new trilogy can just manage to bring something from Cereza's past up to haunt her, and we see her and Viola deal with that together.
No.
We could even tie this into my proposition earlier of having a story where Bayonetta and Viola try to end war between the Trinity of Realities.
No, Jojo.
I really am just spitballing here, so if you have any better ideas, please let me know down in the comments and we'll talk about it there. Now,
I wish I could do it in the comment section, but it is so hard to write that shit down in the comment section because I know you're gonna read it though, because I don't read comments. When I see my comments, I don't always read them, especially when you're getting weird ass comments and stuff. I don't always read those comments. I literally just go on to my business because I'm just like, look, I don't particularly care for your comment and ask me what are you doing? What the fuck? What comment is that? What are you doing? Get the fuck out of here. Don't send stupid ass comments like that when I'm talking about the outfits of Street Fighter 6. You know exactly what the fuck I'm doing. Don't ask stupid ass comments like that. I get tired. I get tired. You get so much negativity through your life. It's like, look, bitch, I ain't got time for more. Like, get the fuck out of here with your crazy, confused ass. Like, it's ridiculous. People send dumbass comments to people. It's like, you don't have any time in the day to get something that's uplifting. You want to sit here and crush somebody else down? Like, are you fucking for real? Because your life is not as in depth as your.
For the gameplay, I do believe that 3 was onto something when it introduced several playable characters with different control structures. Matter of fact, I think they only took this far enough with Jean. But I have an even better way Platinum Games can create a divide between playable characters while keeping a cohesive control scheme, keeping the players engaged, not needing to sacrifice pacing, and not even need to entirely rid themselves of Bayonetta's signature hack-and-slash combat. Bayonetta 3 had perhaps the most sublime combat in the trilogy. Demon Slave was the perfect mechanic to evolve the series and really bring what we saw in cutscenes into gameplay. I don't think Platinum Games should get rid of this impressive feat. Bayonetta herself should still do what she does best: fast-paced, high-octane fighting. But the series should move to a more adventure-based structure, similarly to what God of War 4 and 5 did. If we want to look at one of Platinum Games' own works that already does this as a shining example, we can look to Nier Automata for comparison. It featured an expansive overworld with an emotionally driven story that unlocks you a chapter select by the end of the game.
Then it should be the inspired dialogue of God of War and the adventure aspect of Nier Automaton. Since they want to make these these worlds super big, you might as well just make it a whole sandbox.
While still leaving plenty of time for hack-and-slash combat throughout. Specific side quests and collectibles were locked to certain parts of the story, so when you go into the chapter select, you can take them on there. And no matter how much you interact with the chapter select, you still have your general progress carried over from when you had beaten the game. Now, I'm not saying Bayonetta needs to become open world, but it does need to place more importance and focus to the world it's placing us in. Then, when it comes time to do combat with Bayonetta, she can use her fast-paced fighting skills on the fly, and if the fight takes place in more open areas, she can use her demons too. Matter of fact, we could reserve more open fields for fighting specifically with Bayonetta, as opposed to Viola. So then, where does Viola fit into this? Personally, I think we should also get to control Viola, but make her combat segments more tight and decision-based. Viola would be a character fighting for her life in close quarters, not fighting for style points. I imagine the camera being closer to her, similar to games like God of War, Sekiro, and Hellblade. The enemies she fights will be more meticulous, so the player will need to be as well. What Viola could offer for gameplay is divine swordplay that complements Bayonetta's combat rather than being a worse version of it like it was in 3. Also, I'd love the two characters to be mostly present around each other, but switch to these Viola segments when the two accidentally or intentionally separate at times. Yet, they always meet back up to work together again. Now, those of you watching may think I'm crazy for coming up with these ideas, but honestly, if you feel that way, by all means, just let me know some better ideas down in the comments. You're also a super cool person if you leave a thumbs up and subscribe before moving on to other videos of mine. And the absolute coolest people are the ones who can support me on Patreon. Links right in front of you. I've been Johto Johnny. Love you guys. Enjoy.
Now, Johto Johnny, I'm not hating because this is brainstorming. This is why I say when I brainstorm, if I was a lead manager, I'd be like, look, homie, we're all getting together. The audio crew, the voice actors, everybody in every department, we all getting together. We gonna get drunk. We gonna eat. We gonna play some games. We gonna get drunk. And then we gonna brainstorm. It is the hardest thing what humans do is they think they should brainstorm when their rational side is going. But that's not how like you get that gold nugget juice. The gold nugget juice is when you literally lose your shit, when your brain is gone, when that rational side is gone. Because now there's nothing holding you back just to say whatever you feel so you can put this on paper. Because people are like, nah, you shouldn't do that. Because your rational side will tell you no. But most of the good ideas come from the irrational side, and the rational trying to pull it back just a bit. That's why you got these crazy games and animes, because people are irrational. The order side would be the shit you saw through 3. Well, no, that wasn't the order side. No. I can't find an order game, but I will tell you, like, the order side would be a game that's literally just bumfuck boring. The irrational side will be making shit for you on the daily. Baldur's Gate 3 is both irrational and rational. Okay? That shit makes... You could do whatever in Baldur's Gate 3 a little bit, to a degree. But at the very least, it makes you feel like you could do whatever. So, Johto Johnny, baby, I'm gonna piggyback off you. Because if we were working together, I feel like we would make a good Bayonetta. But hear me out. Johto Johnny, no. We don't need the aspect of Kratos, because it is difficult to bring that fruition. I'm not saying that, no, we can never say it's difficult, because everybody wants to say it's hard to make a game. No, it's not. It will be difficult to go from hack and slash to that version for me, because Bayonetta doesn't pan out into that version of Kratos. However, because she is by Platinum, she is pan out to the energy of Nier Automaton. So I will take that from you. It should be like Nier Automaton, and the dialect and the story of Nier Automaton, and the open world sandbox Nier Automaton. The installments were, and Johto Johnny was right on this. The installments were, and also it made me think, yeah, that is true. The installments of Bayonetta was, 1, memory loss. Trying to figure out who I am. Installment 2, I know who I am, motherfucker, but I must protect my friend, because you took my friend, and I will go to heaven and hell to bring my friend back and learn about my past, but still bring my friend back because I love her. And the third installment should have been, I have all the power, I am the most powerful, and I am the strongest, but there are some times that with power, I have to share it so others can grow just as much as I have grown. That's what the third installment should have been. Yes, I'm powerful, and we can pull that from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but because Buffy did do it, which was justice, but it was true, and it's true in reality, for real life. You can be the most powerful being on the planet, but if you don't share that power, what else is there about you? Nothing. And there will always be something else that will be more powerful than you. So the third installment should have been, yes, this being is very powerful and I cannot do it alone, so I must share my power with others so they can help me to fight off the good fight. But it didn't go that way. It just, Bayonetta has all the power, Bayonetta has the weapons, and then in the end, she kills herself off. Like, I'm telling you, he kamikaze that bitch. I'm telling you, he suicidally killed his legacy because he didn't want to be there anymore, or he'd get fired. So he said, I'm about to fuck everybody's life up. I swear to God, that's what I don't even care for God like that. He literally sabotaged his legacy on purpose, because either he was going out the door already, because all these layoffs that was happening, y'all don't think they were going to lay off the big cheese? Like, please. He said, oh, you don't let me off? Okay, I got you, bitch. And said, whoop, bye. She can come with me too. I'll destroy her legacy. I'm telling you. Because there's no way. It felt like a petty ass ex who's leaving the door because you said, I'm leaving you. And I don't want to yell. Like he's laying in bed and you know this motherfucker can get off hook. So you're just like, and then close the door. Then he finds out you're not in bed and he can't find you. So he gets super petty with all his shit. That's how it felt. And so the third installment should have been, I am powerful, but I need to share my power so we can stop this motherfucker. That's how it should really been. And the fourth installment, since Johto, you love the fairies, fine. I'll play with that and I'll raise you 4 more. So it could be this. It literally could be this for the 4th installment. Remember the Bengals and how the Bengals came from other witches from other continents and so forth? It literally can be Bayonetta's Viola. Ugh. It could be Viola wanting to bring her back, or because she hears that Bayonetta is still in hell somewhere, and her soul is still in hell, which means that if she's still intact, the contract is still intact at some point. It may look like it was broken, but it wasn't completely broken because they haven't eaten her soul yet. So she can either become a demon or she can escape from hell, but she needs to have like an original source body or whatsoever. And she can literally just go to other fucking tribes of witches and ask them to help out. Y'all make it sound like the Umbrella and Sage witches were the only witches, but y'all showed those Bengals off, and those Bengals was talking about the witches from Africa, witches from here, from China, like witches from all parts of Eastern and Asian Europe areas. So you can have those witches come together and say, she goes to specific areas that she went to as a child and found out like, oh yeah, I know that Bayonetta. I trained her when she was a kid, because in Bayonetta's origins, yes, Johto, yeah, I haven't forgotten about that. In Bayonetta's origins, she literally decided to, once she got her, the demon ate her hair. She decided at the end, like, I'm going to go journey and become the best witch that is. That could just be her journey. She went to different continents, and those items that were picked, bracelets that she got, she can't really carry them, and, Rodin was there, so he just took them by surprise, or whatever. And she went to those continents to learn the aspects of different dances and to power herself up so she can actually have no fear against these demons. That could be part 4. I really felt like that should have been 3. Oh, no. 3 should, if you want to still play with multiverses, 3 should have been like, okay, all the Bayonettas get together, or at the very least, not multi-versions of her, but different witches from different multi-dimensions all working together, because you can have different tribes of witches, Egyptian witches and so forth, that are not Bayonetta, but Egyptian witches and da-da-da-das coming together to, like, save her, because the reason why they need to be saved is because the pivotal moment where the Umbran Witch is helping them find their power at a pinnacle time when, shit was going down in their continents. That could be a thing in the multi-dimensional planes. But that story can still continue on to the 4th one, where that shit still was happening, but it was in multi-dimensions. But in this dimension, the Umbran Witches were the coven that wanted to conversely hold themselves away from other witches because they thought they were the shit. And Bayonetta was the one that actually branched out and took a helping hand, asked an olive branch to, like, get help from the other witches. So it could be Viola going to these other continents, because they did China and they did all these other, in Tokyo and Europe and all the other fucking shit. And 4 can be going to these other continents to talk to these witches about resurrection. And only one witch knows about resurrection, but she's going to these other continents to follow where her mother got trained by these other witches. And then it could just be fucking Bayonetta to play both sides. One's in hell, the other one's on Midgard. And Bayonetta is going around in hell gathering information from demons and so forth, because she hears that not only did Rodin got a cood off of his throne, but this motherfucking demon decides to wage war on Earth. And then the fucking angels decides to wage war as well, because without chaos, there's nothing to keep them, the Aesir, there's nothing to really keep them on and off balance, because the angels are order and the demons are chaotic, but Aesir is just the 4-point focal center point. So therefore, it is gone. which means there's nothing holding them back. Really nothing holding them back, because the void is there, but the void, there's nothing to pull them into the void. So therefore, they have nothing to fear. They just gonna rage war, and whoever gets Earth rules it and calls it a day. And that could be the thing. So not only do we have Bayonetta trying to talk to Viola on Earth and trying to tell her, don't bring me back, but Viola's like, I'm going to bring you back. And she's like, I can't at this moment because I'm trying to get my friend back his throne. And Viola's like, okay, well, I'll go to hell. You can't go to hell at this moment. It could be something in between those lines. And Bayonetta is with Rodin, and Rodin is like, okay, well, what we're going to do. And this will be a pivotal moment that Rodin can be an actual contract summoning. He won't be the final. He's the first, because he's been dethroned, so his power is a little bit less than what it was before. So the throne was giving him an extra boost. And now, since that's not giving him an extra boost, he's like, I'm still powerful, but I still need a witch's soul is still the most powerfulest thing. So let's work together so we can chop that shit. So you have her in hell. Oh, and Luca. Well, we don't need to worry about Luca. Luca's just not there. Luca just got 8. We just gonna say that. He got 8, and that's just that. I can't play with that in third. I thought that's the most shadiest shit in the world, stupidest shit in the world, that now Luca, who's 9 feet tall by you in this fucking game, this motherfucker is tall as hell. And Bayonetta's supposed to be like 7 foot or whatsoever, and John too, and this bitch overlaps her. I was like, nah, nigga, you gotta go. You gotta go. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. But we could just say his energy saved her and call it a day. However, if you want to throw in those fucking fairies, we can throw in those fucking fairies and call it a day too. We can literally just have, like, since they're part of the outer dimensional zones of the chaos world and of the Aesir and so forth, they can use like the Aesir's power, but they're also tricking the one that's sitting on the goddamn throne is an actual fairy that's in hell, and the one that's up in heaven is an actual fairy that's manipulating the angels to fucking fight on the fucking Earth planet, and then literally have them fight each other back and forth. And the one that's on the throne is just actually manipulating the other demons, because the other demons can't always be fully controlled. But since he's on the throne, he's like, we need to go to war. So and he's doing it so it can wipe out the demons and angels. And the more they wipe each other out on the fucking Midgard by also wiping out the humans, it's fusing the energy to where it's actually breaking a seal that's keeping the rift from the fairy realm away from everybody else. And once that seal is broken, the fairies can come out. And since both sides don't have enough power anymore, or energy, or leaders to take the helm, the fairies is like, we gonna take over heaven, we gonna take over hell, we gonna take over the earth. And since the Aesir is gone, or he's just been rebooted, we're going to have a blast being the #1 fucking group that is a badass bitch. And that is how the fucking fairies come. And then you can have all the fairies, so you can also have Viola going to these different continents and fighting some of the fairies that kind of exist into these different continents. And you can have different designs for different fairies because they're all in different continents. And you can take the lore from the fairies from different continents and so forth, as you should. And then you can really play with it. You can do the African lore of fairies. You could do we're already doing Japanese, Chinese fairies and Korean fairies. Like, go a little further. Let's go to Brazil. Let's go to Hawaii, bitch. Let's go to the Philippines. Let's look at those fairies for a little bit, bitch. Like, I know he loves European shit, and then that's because it's easy. European shit is fucking easy. You can get a fucking A from that, because what gets promoted the most? European shit. And if that gets promoted, the European folklore shit gets promoted the most, of course it's easy access for you. But we're going to make this difficult. Let's go to the Philippines. Let's go to Brazil. Let's go to Hawaii. Let's go to Afghanistan or Pakistan or Palestine. Let's go to any one of those areas that has any fairy folklore tales. Go to Africa. Let's go to Russia. I don't, you know, go to somewhere that is not European and really dig deep into the fucking folklore tales of the fairies. And I guarantee you look deep in those folklores in those areas, you can get some good ass shit and shit that people don't even know. And then we gonna get people talking about it. But let's go with that, and then eventually have the European fairies, I guess, be the main group that's keeping everybody else in check and whatever, blah blah blah, and use that, and then have Viola fight the fairies at the top, and then have Bayonetta fighting the fairy king of hell in the bottom, and John is dead. I guess we can bring Jean back to fight the Heaven Fairy. That would be something interesting to see. But we can just bring the Heaven Fairy down to Earth and have Viola fight it if y'all not gonna bring John back. But I would like to see John back. I really don't want Viola to be the daughter of Bayonetta. I really just want her to just be like the trainee of the last Umber witches from her multiverse, so that still exists, and Bayonetta was supposed to train her and she never got trained, so then this Bayonetta will train her. That would have been much more interesting than Sides, you're my mommy. Like, that's such a fucking cop-out, and that's such a fucking stab in the fucking gut that this woman here who's like, I don't like children, I will protect you, but I don't want you, but I don't mind practicing trying to have you, decides, oh, I'm just gonna have a baby, but I'm gonna have a baby with this loser cat friend who's not, I'm not even interested in, Luca. And then we can bring the AC or Lakai back as either an assist with Viola, and she could be helping him. Because Viola now is an adult, so she's trained herself just enough, but she's going to get trained even more. And he can be another side assist fighting. Like, we could throw his ass in there too, but he doesn't have his power. Because remember, he threw his power away. He removed those powers away a long time ago. So like, he just reincarnated. He's just a natural, normal individual with cards, and we could play with that. Or we can have him go to hell and realize that he too wants to bring her back. He misses Bayonetta, and he went to hell to go look for her. And that could be a thing too, where he's like, okay, we can't have hell and we can't have heaven fucking each other over. If they do, they gonna bring back these motherfuckers, and I don't want that to happen. And I don't have my power, so I can't send them back to the fucking void. So we need to stop. And it could be a whole spiel. Like, the fairies are powerful. The fairies are very powerful. When I made them before, it was just like a oopsie daisy thing, but then they actually got very powerful, and they actually was disturbing the balance and making everything super unbalanced at a point to where I couldn't really figure out how to like stop it at the time. So before I split myself, I threw them into the void and gave them their own spot, but they're not happy. So they're not happy seeing their brothers and sisters like outshine them. So they're going to try to, you know, reap the rewards, I tell you. And that could be a thing. So I mean, like, Jojo Johnny, you have something. Like I said, I was going to piggyback off of him. And I love that, because this is how we make video games: is piggybacking off of somebody's idea and expanding it more. And it should be a Nier Automaton open world feel for the new Bayonetta 4, where you're running around on the different continents and exploring, and then fighting off the fairies and their groups and so forth, and doing side quests. Like, they should go to that route with the inspiring dialogue of Kratos, and with that, then we can have a full deep submersion of Bayonetta 4. But I just know, like, hey, this dude kamikaze his own game because he was getting fired or he was getting let go. Something holy is not right with this. That's how I call it. Something holy was not right with this. And the next installment should still be fusions, but it should be more fusions with the contracts of not just demons, but spirits and otherworldly beings. And that's what Viola has been trained. And she doesn't have that fairy power, and she looks like a fucking furry. Like, I didn't like that. That design was disgusting. Like I said, he did not care. That design was so fucking disgusting. That design should never be popped out anymore. At the very least, the only time it should be popped out is a chibi version of a tattoo on her arm. That's about it. It should never take form. It should be actually Cheshire. She transformed into Cheshire. Like, she contracts with Cheshire, and Cheshire decides to, like, fully contract with her and bond with her. And that should be her full form. Like, I could see her on a unicycle or throwing it around like a weapon. That should be her fucking form, not that weird fairy ass shit. And I don't want to see Luca's fairy ass either. I want him gone too. Or at the very least, I want Lucan from the origin story and not fucking Luca. Like, he comes back as a normal human being with fairy powers, and the fairy power that Viola has is actually Lucan's power, and it transfers over when Lucan's there. That's what should be. Because I know these fucking idiots is gonna be like, yeah, I want that fairy power back. All right, then she doesn't have it anymore. It's dormant until Lucan comes back, and I don't mean Lucan from the origins story from Cereza. His ass comes back, and he comes back as a human, but the fairy energy, the fairy magic within her feels him, because in actuality he splits his power whatsoever a long time ago. And in the multiverse world, we gonna chop that. We gonna brainstorm that one again. But it just, that power gets sent into this new Lucan human, and he becomes a full fairy once again. And then, since you want Rosa to come back, Rosa is Madame Butterfly. We're just gonna say it. Rosa is Madame Butterfly. And when she finds out that her son is alive and he is reincarnated, shit like that or whatsoever, Madame Butterfly turns into Rosa. And then we're done. And then we're fucking done, because it's just this whole thing could have just been a whole lot better, but they just refuse into making this better. They just refuse into making this better, and it pisses me off, because it's like, you have a good franchise. 5 installments of Devil May Cry. Now Devil May Cry has an app game that's coming out, that's been out for a while now. So it's like, are you fucking kidding me? And Bayonetta only gets 3. But like I said before, that is a white Caucasian male with white savior complex energy. So of course he's gonna get more installments than the white European woman with no savior complex whatsoever. The problem, she really didn't give a fuck. She was just like, how the hell can go tear themselves apart? I got my own problems to deal with. Like, all I need to do is fuck up some angels and call it a day. Just get the fuck out of my face. She just really didn't give a fuck. And I think that's the problem why she didn't get a lot of installments too. Because even though he was like, I hunt demons and figure out my paths, blah, 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 she accepted everything that she was and gone over her business. He was just like tried to play off hard, cool, and it just didn't fit for me. But other than that, like, I just feel like it's 3 installments, and it shouldn't have been passed the mantle to Viola, and she's the new Bayonetta. Like I said before, he kamikazed his game, destroyed his legacy, because he was leaving Platinum Games, and he decided if I can't have her, no one can have her. I'm gonna fuck this whole series up, and that's what he did. I bet you, because it just, like I said, it screams petty ex, petty boyfriend who's about to learn that the breakup's about to begin. It plays that off. It does. And I swear to Bobbit, that's why we got this fucked up Bayonetta. Battle system is fun, but I can't stand the design and the color scheme. It just looks really bad. It looks even more bad on the Switch. I wonder how it will look on the PS5 and on the Xbox. Like, shit is marvelous. But anyways, I'm going to end this so I can play Nino Kuni Rising and then get my list of tiers. So I'm going to do a tiers list tomorrow, and the tiers list is going to be like Xbox Game Pass tier list games that I loved. I also said, I also said, okay, you made this? And then my last tier will be, what the fuck? Why did you make this? So, of games that I played on the Xbox Game Pass, so I can get people to like, hey, get on this Xbox Game Pass, babies. Don't pass this up. This is corporate. Corporate are trash people, but this is the opportunity to get something good and cheap. You don't pass this motherfucker up. So, all right, I will see you all later. Most appreciated. Thank you for the time. Thank you, Johto Johnny. This is Johto Johnny. He does a lot of Pokemon and the Bayonetta series, but he also does other games as well. And his name is, yet again, Johto Johnny. I also make sure to put, tag his name and everything so people can actually see him. So, just to let you guys know, Johto Johnny. If you start asking about, there's new people coming in, just say Grandma Cynthia sent us. Grandmacynthia666 sent us. Grandma liked your video and also did a whole piggyback off your video, but did a piggyback on your ideas because he loved your idea. He loved your ideas so much, but he was like, I need somebody to brainstorm with to make a better Bayonetta. So piggyback off him. So yeah, send it your way, babies. But other than that, yes, I'm gonna actually do 3 or 4 gaming tier like tiers. I'm gonna do gaming tiers, and I'm gonna at least do 2, 3, or 4. 1 Xbox Game Pass, one JRPG, one, and 1 horror survival. I don't do horror survival, but I watch horror survival, so I will definitely give you a list on that one. And then I'm also gonna try to go back to doing making YouTuber fantasy characters. I'm gonna make some videos over that because I like a lot of YouTubers, and I always, when I'm listening to them and I'm watching their videos, I always dream of what type of fantasy character they would be if I was to make them, if they were dropped into a fantasy world, or I write a fantasy story about adding them in there. So yes, all right, I'm done. I will see you all later. Mama's got to poop because I've been holding it in. So. Most appreciated. Hope to see you guys tomorrow. And remember that the earth is your stage. The sun and the moon is your spotlight. So you give the universe one hell of a show.
Oh, gunpowder! Oh my god! 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 Please! 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 Jesus, please! Please! I'm gonna die again! He's got me in a corner! Go down, bitch. Go down, motherfucker. Go down. Oh god. Oh god! Okay. Go gunpowder. Oh god! Oh my god. 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 Please. 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 Jesus, please. Please. I'm gonna die again. He's got me in a corner. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Go down, bitch. Go down, motherfucker. Go down. Oh god. Oh